Welcome to Why the Stomach Growls. Written by Pamela Duncan Edwards and illustrated by Bridget Starr Taylor. Long, long ago, when the stars and planets were freshly made, the Creator noticed that the sun shone more brightly, the rain fell more gently, and the wind blew more softly on one of these planets. "This shall be a special place unlike any other," said the Creator. "I shall call it Earth." Onto Earth the Creator put seas and rivers and left land that seemed just the right size. But the Creator was not satisfied. "Now I shall make a garden, and into this garden I shall put many wondrous things." So a garden came to be, and it was a place of beauty and peace. But after more time had passed, the Creator grew dissatisfied once more. "How sad that none but I can appreciate this place." So the Creator began to fashion shapes. "I shall give each shape its own job," decided the Creator. Then, out of the Creator's hands appeared 2 eyes to admire the beauty of the garden, 2 ears to listen to the garden's noises, a nose to smell the garden scents, a mouth to speak pleasant things, and a brain to think thoughts, arms and hands to feel were made, and legs to skip and run. Then the Creator breathed life into one last shape. "You shall be called Stomach," said the Creator, poking the stomach in its middle to finish it off. The stomach waited to hear what job it was to be given, but the Creator was tired and said no more. That made the stomach so mad. "It's not fair," it grumbled to the other shapes. "Why am I the only one that hasn't gotten a job? You all got a purpose. I just lie here all day, and I am bored." "There's nothing we can do about it," said Mouth. "Let's face it, you're not important. In fact, you're useless." And the other shapes laughed and began to call the stomach unkind names. "I'll show you," roared the stomach. "I'll make a job for myself. I'm going to work at being a pest." So a pest it became. It interrupted and bothered day and night, so no shape could do its job properly. When the eyes tried to gaze at the blue sky, the stomach rolled in dry fallen leaves and sent up clouds of dust. When the ears tried to listen to the wind, the stomach made loud, rude noises to drown the wind's song. The nose bent to smell the flowers, but the stomach flopped about, breaking the flower stems. As for the legs, the stomach pestered them unmercifully. If they set out to walk through the garden, wiggling their feet in delight, the stomach tripped them up and grazed their knees. The bad stomach caused so much trouble that the shapes began to quarrel among themselves. The legs kicked the hands, and the hands tripped the feet. The mouth stuck out its tongue at everyone. The eyes glared at the ears wiggled themselves in a very rude way, and the nose turned itself up in disgust. "Stop!" wailed the brain. "I can't think straight." With that, all the shapes began to push each other, and a terrible argument started. The stomach sat behind a bush and giggled. Hee 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 hee. Suddenly, a large cloud formed over the garden, and a voice thundered, "Enough!" The shapes stopped fighting and trembled to hear such anger, except except for the stomach, which had grown bold in its bad ways. It just laughed impolitely. Ha 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 ha! On hearing such bad manners, the knees knocked together so loudly you could hear them from one end of the garden to the other. "I'll allow you to share the beauty of this garden with me," cried the Creator, "but you have proved yourself unworthy." "It's all the stomach's fault," wailed the mouth. "It wouldn't leave us alone." The stomach was indeed bad, agreed the Creator, but it was unhappy because it had nothing to do. You could have shown pity. You could have shared your happiness. The legs shuffled in embarrassment, and the other shapes looked ashamed. But the Creator was gentle and understood that sometimes kindness has to be learned. "I have a plan," said the Creator. "I think it will help you work together." Suddenly, a great jostling began to take place. From behind the bush, the stomach watched as the shapes became attached to each other from the head right down to the toes. "I am satisfied," said the Creator. "From now on, you are as one. Eyes, you will no longer do anything but see. Ears, you will only hear. If you wish to speak, mouth will do this for you. You will be unable to quarrel ever again. Brain, you are the message center. When you receive instructions, it will be your job to help the parts to carry out its desire." All the shapes were pleased. "Now we'll each be able to enjoy everything the others do," said the mouth as the legs began to dance about excitedly. But suddenly the eyes looked down and sent a message to the brain which caused the mouth to say, "There is a hole in our middle." The Creator looked at the stomach lying alone on the ground and said, "In you go. That space is for you." "What?" cried the stomach. "You think I'm going in there with that selfish lot? Not I." But even as it spoke, the stomach felt itself being gently lifted and placed in the hole. "Let me out!" it yelled, but then it gave a little wiggle as it found that the hole fitted perfectly. "Well, okay then," it said grudgingly to the Creator, surprised to find its words coming out through the mouth. "You are now a body," said the Creator to the shapes, "and this body shall be called human. From now on, you will work together, each benefiting from the other."
I'm not anything about hair or fingers.
The human jumped up and down on its feet and clapped its hands together. "But what about me?" wailed the stomach. "I still haven't got a job." "I have not forgotten you," replied the Creator. "I have decided that this human should now know the joy of food. Because you've had much practice in the art of grumbling, you are given the job of rumbling 3 times a day. In the morning, at noon, and in the evening. In this way, the human will know it's time to eat." Growl! As the Creator stopped speaking, all was silent for a moment. Then the mouth smiled, and from deep inside the stomach there came a low of satisfaction. The end.
Face, a nose,
He wants to know why there's no comments about other parts of the body.
Well, the hands did have nails, and the toes did have fingers. Nails. The eyes had eyelashes.
I wanted to play the toy. Or the clock.
Well, remember, that's the first human. The Creator created the first human. Maybe the second human had a different part. Maybe that's how we got boy, and the Creator made girl.
And about a belly button?
Maybe the belly button came later. We don't know. Remember, the stomach finally got a job.
Or boobies.
All right, boys and girls, have a good night. See you tomorrow.